Hey everyone, here's your assignment 1 guideline. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible, but just remember, if you're looking for more details, a lot of the content that's posted here will help explain things a little farther for you, your assignment guidelines. Additionally, though, you'll want to maybe ask myself, your peers, a question, or feel free to do that as well. But make sure you give a good read over on the assignment guidelines first, looking for details, okay? So here's the logistics, essentially. Your assignment guideline is going to be here. You can obviously click on it there, zoom in a bit. So this is where you find all your pertinent information for your assignment. It's going to be a group assignment, this first component, and the second part is going to be a 5% that's going to be an individual component. So you get to be a little bit more specific about this. But what we're going to have you do in a group of up to 4 people, I know it says 2 to 3 there, but I'll allow groups up to 4, is essentially explore a career. And then what you're going to do is create a presentation kind of detailing that research that you do to the class. The one caveat or the one catch to this is the focus of the presentation is going to be walking everyone through something that you create called an infographic. Now, I'll show some examples of that later, but more or less you're going to, through illustrations or pictorially illustrated data, share what you found with the class. Okay, so it's not a bullet slide. So again, you're going to find a profession in a kinesiology related realm. If you don't see something on the list that I'll show you later, feel free to email me and ask. And again, it's going to be a first come, first serve sort of thing. So make sure you find the Google Sheet link and stake your claim by leaving a comment. Okay, the important thing is don't request for permission to edit. I won't grant it. It'll stay in the deep realms of the internet. But yeah, you'll want to add a comment to that, okay? Only one career per group. I want everyone to experience and see a wide variety and range of careers, even though many of you might have a similar career interest, okay? Get in your group, organize that, and as soon as possible, reach out to somebody in the profession, because you're going to interview them to gather some data, okay? You can do this over Zoom, a phone call, in person, whatever works for you and your group. And then from that, plus some additional research that you'll do on your own, you're going to find all the information you need for your presentation. Yeah, you can... before you do the presentation, or once you're done it, you can always send it to another group and have them look over it, and you guys can you all can share and kind of give each other feedback and comments if you want. Those are some extra steps. The last point, and one of the more important ones, is only one PDF or PowerPoint submission once you're all done presenting, as far as your final submission for me to look over, okay? So your general outline for the assignment here, and the questions and information you'll need to explore and answer are here. Treat this as much of a checklist as possible. Your introduction will be a general introduction on your PowerPoint slides, but once you get into the professional experience and current employment opportunities, those are going to be your infographics. Conclusion and reflection, again, that's going to be a bit more of a bullet point style PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and I'll let you read through the details of those on your own with your group or as a group. All assignments, I want at least 5 peer-reviewed academic sources, and you might think that's a little challenging for a career-related thing. However, many of these resources will be about barriers and challenges you find in different careers, and with the healthcare, there's usually some information out there that you can find, okay? If you're wondering if something is peer-reviewed or not, feel free to ask. But generally speaking, it will be journal review, articles, textbooks, etc. Okay. You'll want to include all information. If you don't have your name on something, you don't get a grade for it. So ensure that all names are on the assignment for sure. And last but not least, I want your original work on this. Obviously, you want to synthesize all the information. Anytime it's not your work or your idea, even if you've read something somewhere and then pulled the idea and started explaining in your own words, 100% cite that using APA. Okay. The marking rubric for this component, so for the 15% of the overall grade, a large focus is going to be on quality of content, and that includes your infographics as well. So what's a quality infographic? Again, I'll show you some examples coming up in a moment, but essentially what I'm looking for is something that clearly has some effort put into it, and not just effort, but is also at, say, like a professional level. And you can relate this to an A level, B level, C level, and D or lower level as far as what these categories line up with. If you want more specifics of what sort of work would entail each of those grade levels, go ahead and flip back to your syllabi. You'll be have a very clear outline of what each grade range represents as far as quality of produced work. Yep. Source connection, I want to see you tie in all the information that you've gathered. Let us know whether it's like from interview or if it's a cited source. Even on your infographic, if it's a cited source, within brackets underneath your point or your graph or whatever illustration you happen to have, you need your APA citation under there. Not the full reference, but the citation. You can have a reference page at the bottom of the infographic or at the back of your slide deck. As far as content organization, how well is everything presented in flows? If you follow the previous checklist, that should be relatively easy to do well on that. Writing and or presentation style. So just how clearly is content communicated and presented? And last but not least, instructions. Did you follow instructions? Do all the points on the checklist, are they there? Did you only hand in one, not multiple copies of your assignment? Things of that nature will fall into that category. Okay, so that's your group assignment in the first part. As I promised, I will show you the sign up on the Google Sheet. So some of you have already staked your claim on a few places. Try not to show too much student information here or personal information, but as you notice, for example, in kinesiologists, there's a number of them. If you're the only one, you kind of can pick and cover all of them. If there's multiple, say, example, people interested in physiotherapy, I have a few specialties laid out. If you see a specialty in any of these areas or professions, another group has already taken it. Essentially, you can just pitch me your idea as far as a subspecialty of that profession, and we'll see if we can get you to do that. Okay, great. So that was your sign-up sheet. Oh, I almost forgot the most important thing. How do we leave a comment? Well, you go to that talk bubble, or you go to the cell that you want to fill in on the sheet, and then you come up to here where it says insert comment. You're going to click on that, type in your thing, leave the comment. I want all your group members' names there, everyone with last name, please. Do not check the checkbox, because as soon as you do, it goes away. When I go back through and fill in your actual names to confirm that you've gotten that career, I'll make the checkbox, and you can consider that confirmed, and you can move forward with that topic. Hopefully that made sense, okay? How do you get a hold of these professionals? Well, I always suggest work in your personal circles. If you know someone or have a family friend, or maybe you're volunteering somewhere and have easy access to one of these professionals on the list, you can do that. If not, you can email, call, or send out or hand out this kind of pre-made letter. Just wanted to try to streamline that process for you. Again, these are busy working professionals trying to go about their day and complete their jobs. It is truly a privilege, and you should be very grateful if any of these people decide to take time out of their day to do these interviews for you. Many in healthcare like doing it. They like helping people and have been students themselves, so they enjoy helping students. That being said, yes, I just be aware of that, and again, leave as much time as possible to try to set up these interviews. Just for logistics' sake, and trying to get someone's time to do this. Okay, here's some example infographics. Let's see if I can get these to load as I want. So that's a download. Here's one. So here's an infographic. This is just an idea of what to look for. And again, the general theme is that we have different data presented with pictures, okay? So for example, they use a certain number of books to illustrate a numerical value. They have different pictures and designs, again, to represent numerical data, your quantitative data. And one of the main reasons I want you all to develop this skill and to have fun with this, but also figure out how to display content like this is the way science, I feel, really needs to be conscious about as far as disseminating information that it has learned. So building easy, accessible information that is peer-reviewed, scientific, but communicating that to the general public. And generally speaking, things like this is much easier for the general population to digest. It's more visually engaging. People are going to want to engage in that versus, let's say, having to go find their own peer-reviewed studies, which, while you are all empowered with that skill, not everyone in the general population is. So again, figuring out how to collect all your research as well as your interview data and coming up with kind of fun but relevant pictures, or infographics in order to share that information. That's your goal for this presentation, okay? Good, so that was almost all of our group aspect of things. Here is your peer assessment. So once you're done, the day of the due date of your presentation, I also want you to email me this peer collaboration evaluation sheet. You're going to go ahead and self-evaluate yourself. Here's a grading rubric for yourself, and you can give numbers between these values as well, but they're just meant to be a bit of a gauge as far as where to give marks. And then fill in each one of these boxes for one of your group members, giving some feedback about that. Yes, and I'll want you to, you're going to submit this on Blackboard. So hopefully people kept listening and didn't just hear email. You're going to submit this on Blackboard completed. Yes, okay, good. And then that way, that's how I'll get your peer feedback. As a reminder, at the end of the semester, 7.5% is going to be from how well you collaborated with your peers. So yes, keep that in mind as you're filling that out, okay? Last but not least, we have your individual component worth 5%. Let's take a little look. Assignment, it's individual. This is where you get to specifically pursue and follow information regarding one particular area of career interest for yourself. It can be whatever you want. Doesn't matter if other people are doing similar, but you will need to personalize and go through what your personal choices as far as what you do each semester is in here. Again, trying to map out where relevant kin courses are. If you're not interested in kinesiology, maybe you're deciding psychology or something is more your way, biology, whatever, chem. If that's the case, you can change kin to be chem or bio or psych or whatever and input that into here. You can just do those only. You don't have to worry about electives or anything like that. You can map that out into this section, okay? Great. And then you're going to give yourself a little bit of a self-evaluation out of 5 here, and any comments that you want to add as far as your process and how you felt this career mapping assignment went for you. Okay? Great. Again, that will be all submitted on Blackboard, and it looks like the due date is posted there, but I will suggest always check the most recent updated schedule to see when your due dates are. All right, and that's your first assignment. So I'm excited to see what everyone comes up with, and best of luck with this and have fun with it. Cheers.